Hi there. Today I'm attempting to make a ground beef with rice and green fava beans. It's going to be made in my kitchen. Welcome to my kitchen. It's not the prettiest kitchen, but I'm just hungry tonight and I feel like making something quick. What I've done already is that I've defrosted the ground beef. So I have about half a pound of ground beef, lean, halal ground beef. It's defrosted. Also got my green fava beans. They were raw green fava beans, and I've boiled them in water with a little bit of salt. Took about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to get that boiled. So what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to prepare my ground beef, and to do that I have prepared a mixture of 3 cloves of garlic and about 100 grams of fresh ginger chopped up, and I have a mixture of spices. Spices that I have are beef shawarma spices. Also I have the red curry spices that are, you can find it from your local grocery. It's in a package called Cool Runnings. This is what it looks like. Has no MSG. This is excellent with chicken, with beef, and also with fish. If you want to make it with a bassa filet, you can marinate your bassa filet with some Cool Runnings. Coat it with egg and then breadcrumbs, and then you can fry it. Actually, it tastes very nice on a fish. But I'm going to put it in my rice with the ground beef, so it just gives some flavor. And the only meat that I have is the ground beef. So I was contemplating whether to have chicken, but I have the ground beef, so I'm going to try it out with the ground beef. Okay, so I'm ready to prepare my meal. And I'm going to get some mazola corn oil. And I'm going to put about quarter of a cup of oil roughly into the mixture. This is not made to scale. I usually eyeball my meals. I try to adjust the ingredients to my taste, whatever I prefer. Sometimes, you just with experience with cooking, you have an idea of roughly how much to add of certain, salt or spices. For me, oil, I think, because there's beef, the beef is lean, I would put just roughly a quarter cup of oil in there. And on top of the corn oil, I plan to get some sesame seed oil. And the only reason why I'm going to do that is I feel like I like the nutty taste in my meals, sesame sort of flavor and nuttiness. Now you don't have to really add that. Depends on what you feel like I'm putting in your rice. But I like a little bit of sesame seed oil. Just give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, so I got the kadoya sesame seed oil. You're just gonna put like a teaspoon of this. This is not really necessary. You don't really need to put a lot of this oil. It does give a lot of flavor. It's a good quality sesame seed oil. Usually in stir fry, the sesame seed oil is added last. I plan to just add it now, just to let it cook with the meat, give it some flavor. And so we're just gonna put about a teaspoon of that in there. That's it. So after adding the sesame seed oil with the corn oil, I've decided to preheat my stovetop. I'm going to preheat it to a level of first high, so the oil can heat up, and then I'm going to lower it to medium heat. So it takes about a couple minutes for that to heat up the oil, and then I'll reduce it to medium heat, and I'll add my ground beef, cook that thoroughly. I like my beef to be cooked well done. The reason being is just because it's beef, and you just for extra precaution, if you cook it extra, there's no harm in that. You're trying to eliminate as much bacteria as possible that could be possibly in the meat. So you know, cooking it more is, I find, is better. It tastes better, in my opinion, if the ground beef is cooked thoroughly. So while I'm waiting for the oil to heat up, I'm just munching on some of these fava beans. They taste delicious. I know my hands are clean. The most important thing when you're cooking is you have to always constantly keep your hands clean. Cross-contamination can occur easily. I know that's a little rhetoric at home, but you know, it's better safe than sorry these days. There's so much, because of everything's commercial, contamination, cross-contamination, so you don't want to get food poisoning even in your own kitchen, right? So I'm just gonna, my hands are pretty clean, to get some fava beans. It tastes good. Very tasty. And my oil is heating up. I can smell the sesame seed oil. And we just have to wait a little bit longer. And the first step, before I add the meat, first step is I'm going to add the garlic and the ginger. Let that cook together. Wait till my garlic becomes golden brown. And then I'm going to add my beef. Okay, so my oil is pretty much heated up. It's at high. I'm going to reduce it a little bit to 6 right now, like medium to high. I'm going to add my garlic and ginger mix in there. And then I'm going to reduce the heat just a little bit. This pan is a non-stick pan. It's very fast and heating up. And I'm going to turn on my fan up here to high. So you can see that the garlic right away is becoming very golden. Just going to shake that around a little bit with the spatula. I can smell the fresh garlic. It smells delicious. I love garlic. Garlic is very healthy for you. Very strong antioxidant. Very strong anti-cancer agent. It's good for yeast infections. Good for if you're having problems with the bacterial infections. It's very strong, very potent for cleansing the system, cleansing your blood. So having garlic, fresh garlic, is actually very good for you. I really recommend it. Okay, so this is getting golden now. I'm just going to take a little bit off the heat and I'm going to start to add my meat. Okay, so I added my ground beef, nice and pink, to our mixture. Let me just change my, not sure if you can see that properly now. So I add my ground beef, and just stirring it about here, and it's at the temperature's at 5. I'm going to put it to 6, a little bit medium to high. Let that cook properly. And just in a bit, I'm going to start adding my seasoning. If you notice, I don't have any salt there in my seasoning. The reason being is that the Cool Runnings has some salt already added to it. I'm just going to maybe put another half a teaspoon. I don't like my food to have a lot of salt. I know that meat, it tastes excellent with, you know, it has to be salted properly so that you can get the taste coming out from your meat. But just for, you know, for me, I'm watching my diet and I enjoy the meats to be less salty, you know, for health reasons, keep my blood pressure low and whatnot. So I'm just gonna add just a bit of salt, not too much. So add this seasoning, and again the seasoning has beef shawarma, it has the Cool Runnings, also has like a turmeric mixed spices that I got from Iran when I was there 2 years ago. I was there on vacation with my wife and my daughter, so I had a very good time in Iran. Iran is a beautiful place. The food is excellent. They have a vast majority of variety in their food cuisine. So they have a lot of different spices, not necessarily hot, but flavorful. They use a lot of cardamom, you know, different turmeric, different black peppers. So they have a variety of spices, as you see. A ground beef, and you can see the oil that is there. And the reason I added just a little bit more oil is that I'm not going to be adding any oil to my rice. So usually when you make rice, you're going to add salt with water and the oil so that the rice doesn't really stick together. But this one will mix together with the rice and give a lot of flavor. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt to this mixture. As you see, about a teaspoon of salt there. Let that cook properly. Okay. At this time, I'm going to add some of my fava beans. Now the fava beans, they're like a little bit more than halfway cooked, because they're going to be boiling with the rice as well. So I don't want to really cook them all the way and then put them in the rice and let them boil again. So when that happens, it's going to be like a little bit too mushy. I want to keep them firm in a way that they're still like in the mixture. They're still have their texture and their composure. So I'm going to add that to the beef mixture so that just it gets some more flavor. And it has time to cook with the meat a little bit, just to get that added flavor with the meat. That looks great. Fava beans in Lebanon are very popular, especially in the summer. They grow them, in the gardens, in the fields, and there's a big market for fava beans because in the summer, a lot of people, they like going to the beach and they like having a beer with the green fava beans, and it's delicious. They really have a great time socializing with friends, family, and it's filling. It's very tasty, healthy. You don't have to really cook the fava beans. As long as they're like ripe and they're firm, ready to eat, then you'll really enjoy them. You don't have to really cook the fava beans. So our beef is coming along now, as you can see, with the fava beans. The next step, as you can see, I'm going to let it cook a little bit longer because I like, as I mentioned earlier, that my beef be cooked. I like my beef to be cooked thoroughly. So let that cook a little bit. Let all the flavor and all the juices from the meat, from the fava beans, from the oils mix and fuse together. And we'll just wait a little bit. Maybe we can cover that just for a bit. Let that all cooked together. Great. So as you see, I'm sweating, because I'm trying to show you that, at home you can make something very delicious, very healthy, very tasty in less than half an hour. This is not going to take too long to make. It's from ingredients that I didn't really intend on going to purchase from the supermarket. I just found them in my house. So I just put something quick together. Found the green beans, found the fava beans, ground beef I had in the freezer, the oil, the rice, the spices. I have them in the house always. So I just put them together and make something healthy. So now I'm going to add the rice. So I have here 2 cups of rice. I put that on top. What I'm going to do here, this is what I learned from my grandmother. She mixes the rice with the meat before she adds the water. Now again, probably this is the best way to get all the flavors mixed together. You want to have the best flavor possible, something that you will enjoy, you and your family. Okay, so that's looking great. Now I'm going to have to add 2 cups of water. Okay, so actually I mentioned earlier 2 cups, but actually it's 4 cups of water that I just added to 2 cups of rice. This is basmati rice. It's a better quality basmati rice. Usually you can find the basmati rice, 5 pounds, in your local grocery. Here in Toronto, Mississauga, better quality one usually start around $10 to $15. Or you can get them also like usually on sale for $5-6, the lower grade ones. But those ones I find that the grain is it's too small, and to know if a basmati rice is a very good quality one, you'll see that the grain expands quite a bit when you boil it in water. So this one here is like a medium quality rice, and I find that it's perfect. I made last week another rice with mixed vegetables. So I'm gonna let that fuse together, and then I have to cover my rice. You see the sauce. This is all from the spices, from the juice, from the meat and the oil. Now I'm going to cover my rice, and I'm going to have to let it simmer, let it boil. And once it's boiling, when I find that the rice now is appearing on the surface, and the water is evaporating, and you start seeing different small holes in the rice, that's when you can reduce the temperature to low and let it simmer again for 5 minutes, and then afterwards your rice will be ready. Okay, so the rice has dropped down, the water has evaporated, so you can see the small holes that are in between the rice. The rice is growing, the grain, in length, because basmati rice, it expands. You can see it's not the longest length, but it's not the smallest either, so the basmati rice can be considered a good quality, fair quality one, medium quality. So we're going to let that on low. We're going to put that on low and let that cook for another 5 minutes. Then our rice should be ready, and we'll have a good, nice dinner. And this is my lunch, going to be my lunch for tomorrow. It took roughly half an hour. I know, you come from work, you're tired. No one really wants to cook. No one wants to put their hand on meat, on spices, on preparation. But if you want to have a healthy meal, it's crucial that you try to give it some effort and go over that fatigue and prepare the meal. It won't take that long, half an hour. Something healthy, something that has your protein, has your carbs, it has fava beans, it has some spices. All of those, when they come together in your body, will relieve your system from stress, will help blood flow in your body. I know that there's the oil part and the saturated fat from the meat, but in reality you need to have a complete protein. You need to rebuild your muscle tissue, especially if you're standing up at work, if you do a lot of active working or even going to the gym. You need to rebuild all that muscle tissue that you're tearing down. So in this case I used ground beef. You can use chicken breast. You can use you can get fish. Fish is another option. I have another recipe for fish and rice that is excellent, very flavorful. So I'm going to be posting some a variety of items and food options that you can make at home, cooking options for the evening. Quick, something 15-20 minutes, half an hour to the max, and you'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel better after you finish the meal and you're enjoying something very tasty that you can't find at a fast food restaurant. You can't find even at some of the local fine diners. You need to have something that is homemade, something that is tasty, and something that is fresh for sure. So my name is Joe, and hopefully you enjoyed watching me make this meal. This is my first video, and I'm going to be uploading. I have a variety of things that I make, and I'm always open to new ideas and new ways of cooking things, especially if you don't have everything prepared, pre-purchased at home. So like just from common things, like here I have a pasta. I can make pasta with meatballs. I can get, if I have the tomato sauce. In this case, I just whipped up something very quick from what I had in the house, and I didn't have to go to the market, didn't have to go buy anything. So hopefully I'll be posting some other meals, and bon appetit. Okay, so this is our meal. Fava beans with seasoned ground beef and basmati rice infused together for a fresh hot meal for the evening. Took less than half an hour. Enjoy.